I thought there wasn't ways how to make Raw bad. Okay, let's see how we can make a show bad. Not wrestling, a show bad. Wrestling has its own metrum of why it's not in the complete mainstream as it was over 20 years ago. It is now 2019. We have a show in like the Middle East 2 weeks after one of our bigger pay-per-views with our biggest gimmick match of the year next to the Elimination Chamber and TLC matches. And nobody remembers a goddamn thing. Braun Strowman has a match against Bobby Lashley for some apparent reason. Some apparent reason they're feuding. Undertaker faces Goldberg for some apparent reason, and the only mischief how to do it is have two guys having matches have just the shortest amount of conflict in just a few seconds. A few minutes. Undertaker did a promo on Goldberg. Goldberg couldn't retaliate the next week because the show is this fucking Friday and Goldberg's not going to show up on a SmackDown. Second of all, from all the tests of strength and ability all these assholes did, they only had Lashley and Strowman only had one fucking arm wrestling match. But Strowman obviously won. And Randy Orton and Triple H had a promo. For the last few weeks, I have seen 4 or 5 times the consistency of how to annoy me and not push two guys that barely even had a decent match since near the start of this decade. Oh man, I'm pissed. And a rushed feud with Roman Reigns and Shane, while the best feud of this year was involving fucking Miz and Shane McMahon. Why does Roman face with Shane? Because he punched his father in the face. That's how all this began. Anything else, these assholes, like, just kept beating each other up. Well, Miz had a legit reason. He literally physically insulted his father, made fun of how he was, bloody blah. Even though everything about this was coherently bad, if you haven't run or seen the career of both of these men. We open up the show with an immediate promo by Roman Reigns until Shane and McIntyre interrupted them so they can kick off with a 6-man tag. Roman Reigns only said a few words. So they literally had a 6-man tag involving Usos and Roman Reigns against McIntyre and the Revival in an It match that ended up with Shane interrupting and then ending it, I think, by DQ. I mean, no, it wasn't ending by DQ. It ended off McIntyre pinning one of the Usos, and then Shane and the rest hitting like a shatter machine, then the head scissors, bloody blah. It was a decent match, a decent opener of the show. It was like, what are they doing with McIntyre now? What are they doing with The Miz? What are they doing with their actual legit stars that actually have good matches and literally can make a crowd react, like Miz and McIntyre? Are they up for title matches? No. Not at all. McIntyre just been the front runner for everything else. He's been the wingman of Dolph Ziggler when he won the Intercontinental Championship back last year. When he was consistently feuding with Seth Rollins, with the Intercontinental Championship being the biggest championship in the fucking show, because Brock Lesnar barely shows up on Raw unless he's in a bigger feud with somebody. So that's our consistency with the Universal Championship of 2018, and why I hated that year so much. This push of a feud completely sucked my fucking ass, because you know that they're just doing this so they can, make a legit pop, big, wide house show that no women are allowed to compete, and just lack of any safeness at all. It's gonna be early in the afternoon, 2 p.m., so nobody can watch it, because most kids would be still at school. Most people don't care, because the majority of what's sold here are men out of their prime, still competing. in a different country where nobody's gonna watch, other than people in the Middle East and maybe more people in the West Coast, but nobody cares. I don't care about Roman facing Shane, because it's not that big of a feud. I don't care about two old fucks. Goldberg that actually looks fit to go, and Undertaker that can barely even withstand one bump before looking like he's gonna break a hip. Next up was Seth Rollins being interviewed by Miz and Miz TV over his, anticipation on cashing in for the Universal Championship. And then it was distinguished for Rollins to face off against Brock Lesnar. Thanks to keep endorsing Lesnar cashing in, until he didn't cash in. Yeah, all this crap with Lesnar cashing in with all the suspicion, he can make his own decision. And then he was like, Friday when he kept beating the shit out of Rollins. Corbin just came as a little scapegoat while he should prevent the Money in the Bank briefcase holder to, not even get his hands on the Universal Champion before he even wins it. Because Brock Lesnar's another ordeal, even if Rollins loses. It's gonna be difficult to get to beat Lesnar. So I'm shocked Corbin's not scared or tried to hold his own ground. Nobody wants to get in conflict with Brock Lesnar unless it's a one-on-one feud. The only time there was multi-conflict involving Brock Lesnar with a championship was I think SummerSlam 2017. Next up was Lars Sullivan somehow feuding with the Lucha House Party. Not because they annoyed him. Not because of anything else. He just did it because they wanted to beat up the Lucha House Parties. At all. They just wanted to beat him up. The reason why this is endorsed so highly on Raw and SmackDown, I don't know why. They're just trying to push Lars Sullivan, a guy that was feuding with Keith Lee a few months ago back at NXT, to be fucking feuding with goddamn the Lucha House Party. Fucking Kalisto, Grandma Leak, and Ligero. No one cares about these guys. These guys consistently lose, and the only time they win is with these stupid little. It's just a handicap matches that are 3-2 handicap match where they consistently keep winning. Because it's a 3-2 affair. And it's 3-on-1, and Lars Sullivan can literally tower over all of them. Why is this feud personal? They had to do this backstage, and I thought this was going to be a one-on-one match with both of them in his corner. No, they just started feuding for some apparent reason. So that was fucking confusing. And stupid. Next was involving, fucking... And it's wasted promo time. I hate whenever that happens. They waste it every fucking time I see Lucha House Party and Lars Sullivan. Next up was, Becky Lynch's promo. The man is not allowed to be at the Super Showdown, even though I call myself the man. And yet, they still don't want me to come. Then, it came with Lacey Evans, then Charlotte Flair coming to intrude and be like they might be the next number one contender for the Women's Championship. Blah, blah, blah. They had a one-on-one match. And how would it end? How would it end? The worst match on the fucking show. Worst match of the month, actually. Especially coming from somebody that's Charlotte. She can make stuff look super brutal, and she can be really technical about it. The match was trash. Lacey Evans couldn't do a flip. She couldn't run the ropes. She kept taking her bumps too early. It wasn't even looking fluent. It couldn't look decent enough. She couldn't do anything. She couldn't even give a good, kick, trip her legs out. She missed a big boot. There was a sluggish corner move. It was so fucking bad. And Lacey Evans is already so crap in a mic trying to give this overly southern gimmick. and yet she doesn't make it look like it's her own world. You give her this Southern gimmick, and it completely terrifies me whenever she's in the ring with another character. Because she's boring. Because other than that, she does this Southern feminist shit. She literally calls her finisher the women's right. Nothing impactful happens in her career. She doesn't run with a posse. She doesn't have at least Dana Brooke or at least some other women that might fuck with her. So why in the fuck is she here with the top women in the company with Becky Lynch, and you couldn't even have a good match with Charlotte Flair? It was a really mediocre match. No woman looked good. It ended off DQ anyway, so that was completely pointless for just Becky Lynch to look like a chicken shit baby face. I'm shocked that I even said that. Next up was Kofi Kingston relinquishing the United States Championship after suffering a shoulder injury after getting slammed. Oh, okay. So why would you let the false finish happen? Just for him to dislocate his shoulder? Did you just rush us so it can be a Grand Slam? Oh my god. Oh my god. Whatever, he relinquishes the title, but Samoa Joe still beats the ever-living piss out of Rey Mysterio, still pushing himself as this major heel. I like it. It was destructive. It was, I don't know why it was specifically Samoa Joe. I'm shocked they don't do a tournament or anything for the United States Championship. Because literally tournaments are good for the U.S. title. It gets more wrestlers involved. Other than the 24/7 championship, tournaments can also do much to, actually show these guys wrestling ability or what they can do in the ring. Kind of can push Elias, Sami Zayn, Apollo, Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy that haven't been shown on TV ever in a while. Just what the fuck? Or Ricochet, a guy that's been having great matches so far with the likes of just Cesaro for the last several weeks. Speaking about the recent match, that was the main event, by the way. It was the main event. It was a decent match, but it wasn't better than their second encounter that Ricochet won. So and then we had the arm wrestling segment. It was funny when fucking these niggas beefy ass hands go for a fucking arm wrestling competition that came with Lashley slapping Strowman, trying to get in his head, and it just came up with Strowman beating the ever living piss out of him. I mean, then a huge power slam by Lashley, and it's like stuff like that is gonna get Lashley in the bigger picture. I just don't know why they're doing this test of strength right now when it's like a week before the fucking paper, like a few days before we go to the big show. I don't even know why they're feuding. I don't know why Randy Orton and Triple H are feuding. I don't know why Undertaker and Goldberg are gonna do it. They're just gonna wrestle. Literally it. It's just a house show on the network. I hope you folks understand. This has no rhyme or reason except to just show their talents, I think. I don't know if the Middle East does not have a fucking WWE network or have their own wrestling federation, but it was a crappy segment just to show Lashley has equal footing with Strowman, I guess. Next up was involving a one-on-one match with Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce. One-on-one. And I think this is supposed to succumb to a feud. Because it just came with Nikki Cross winning off a distraction involving coffee that Alexa Bliss had with her. Because they came in the ring together. It just came off the little spinning neck breaker off the second rope. I hate those kinds of moves that look completely, fucking convenient. Like the time Alberto Del Rio had that finisher when your opponent literally have to hold off the two ropes and Alberto just stomps on you. It's a stupid convenient finisher. I hate it. But Nikki Cross won off a crappy, forgettable match, and Alexa Bliss is somehow affiliated with her, looking like a fucking teenager. But she's still good. I'll give her that much. It's always with Nikki Cross that has barely much character after like being like a mystique, interesting, crazy character part of the Sanity faction, and now like Alexander Wolf is gone. Fucking Eric Young hasn't wrestled in months. I mean, like in a month or two, and I don't know where the other guy went. I don't even remember his name. That's how sad Sanity was. How it was like nearly one of the biggest things on NXT, and then they just rushed them into the main roster. So yeah, Alexa Bliss started beating the fuck out of the Iconics, and then fucking Jen just leaves with her coffee stained pants. Next up was Lesnar beating the ever living piss out of Rollins. I already told you most of what the fuck happened involving Rollins just trying to pick a fight with Corbin coming into like I'm the next biggest threat, even though like the biggest threat and the longest running Universal Championship is holding a briefcase that I can never see coming. So, but then he schedules Friday and continues to beat the shit out of Rollins with a steel chair, just like what Rollins did a week before, I think 2 weeks before Mania, and just continued to like F5 him outside, suplex, then steel chair again. I'm just happy that I'm not seeing a Lesnar and Rollins match again, because their first match was trash! I'd rather see their 2015 Battleground match. That was exactly the same thing, except Rollins was a chicken shit heel. Next up, involving Triple H and Randy Orton having a promo. And, wow, I did not care. It was just the same thing I just see of Triple H trying to make the promo of a match that's bigger than it's supposed to be. Because this match is living beyond its means with guys that's been feuding for years now. Two men that the one that still wrestles a regular schedule, and the guy that's now like a part timer that's COO of the company. Nothing about this is interesting. Nothing about this squeezes anything unless this was still part of the Authority storyline from years ago. This is shit. They're just doing this so they can have. Oh, we have 1 week left. Oh shit. We have to do something. Let's make a promo. I'm gonna toss a mic at your shoulder. Well, Randy Orton just just putting his wife's name in his mouth, because that's how you always get in a feud with Triple H, right? It was really just stupid, cathartic, pointless, meaningless, rushed, corny promo. That was just a reason for these guys to have a bit of conflict with each other, knowing damn well this is disinteresting. Same thing as the Taker and Goldberg match. Something like that could have been an actual Mania, not Mania-esque. The fuck? I don't care where the fuck we are. Kip. I don't give a fuck what country we are in. It's ass. It's just corny. I don't care about Saudi. I don't care about any of these places. I just want to watch a good pay-per-view. You couldn't bring back No Mercy. You couldn't bring back fucking Judgment Day, Unforgiven, King of the Ring. All these pay-per-views that people have grown to love over the years. And yet you have Crown Jewel, no one cares about Battleground. You made a gimmick match name a pay-per-view. They even call the pay-per-view Fatal 4-Way. Only 3 matches were Fatal 4-Ways in the entire pay-per-view, and nobody cared about them. Next up was involving Cesaro versus Ricochet. It was a decent match. It came up with Ricochet getting the reversal over for a roll-up and did the same roll-up Bayley did for the 3 count. I think there was a bit of a slip-up. The match was a bit slower than it was, but it was still like big hoss Cesaro just uppercutting the living shit out of Ricochet. And just a reversal after reversal this time. Ricochet's thinking a bit faster. This was a better match. I mean, this wasn't as good as their last match. Next up, and we did have a fucking Firefly Funhouse segment involving working out. So that was a bit fun. Especially the empty your mind. Shit, that kept me off guard. So that was a bit interesting. I don't know when he's actually going to have a match, except I know when he has a match, it's going to go downhill from there because you know WWE, they like ruining potential in the main roster a lot. Next up was Undertaker's promo, just a reason to just say, just for Undertaker, for the marks to just say, he said you're next. I gotta watch a pay-per-view on a Friday? The fuck? Just tape it. Come on. Do you think anybody cares about Super Showdown? You think anybody cares about Super Showdown? The most important thing is R-Truth is a 3-time 24/7 champion. That's literally it. I don't care about anything else. The show gets a 4 out of 10. I did not like it. There was one good match in the entire show. I just discovered Lacey Evans can't wrestle as she could because she's given like the push to the moon for some apparent reason, all because she looks just like Charlotte Flair. In this go-home show for the Super Showdown pay-per-view that's going to be at like fucking 2 p.m., so no kid's going to be able to watch it. PG my fucking ass. Nobody cares about Super Showdown. You don't get maybe my like full viewage, my full reaction of the card for Super Showdown come on Wednesday or today. I don't care. Or Thursday. Thanks for watching, everybody. I wish I wasn't this, negative man. But WWE continues to, really make this difficult to, review a wrestling show that's 3 hours and could nearly put me to sleep while, starting to ending point, I should be excited and happy to watch the next episode of Raw that doesn't last 3 hours. Thanks for watching.